Hi, and welcome to the February 2023 monthly energy forecast and update. Normally, I pre record the energy update and then I send it out in emails and then I put it on YouTube. And some people on Facebook get it, some people don't. Usually, if you are on my email list, it goes directly into your inbox. If you're not on a subscriber on my email list, you will not get it in your inbox. So make sure you do. If you are watching tonight, the reason why I am doing it live is because February is just stellar. Okay. And I am just so excited about February. And I kind of wanted some extra energy around when I was doing the monthly energy forecast instead of just doing it with like nobody to hear it right away because I'm so excited about it. So if you're on tonight and you're watching the energy update, make sure that you put in the comments, say hello, let me know you're here, let me know who's watching. And like I said, this is very rare that I do it live once a month. So every 15th of the month, I do the monthly energy update. And the best way to make sure that you're getting it is by getting on our email list. So you can actually join our list in the link in video for the monthly video forecast and make sure that you're getting yours in your inbox directly as soon as it's hot off the press. All right. So if you are watching on Facebook, make sure that you like or follow on Facebook because then you're going to be getting the live notifications when I go live with the other forecasts and the lounge on Friday nights, which is our weekly talk show where we bring in transformational speakers, authors, people who've had near death experiences, all spiritual topics, transformation, trauma healing, all of that. And this Friday, so excited. We're bringing on a guy to talk about the afterlife. Curtis Childs. He has over 150,000 subscribers on YouTube because he actually just talks about one man, which is Emanuel Swedenborg. And this is somebody I haven't ever heard of before, but this person was alive in the late 1600s, early 1700s at a time where talking about the afterlife was kind of unheard of. And he wrote many books about the details of what happens in the afterlife because he was taken on a tour by angels through the afterlife. So I cannot wait for this interview on Friday. It's on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, right now at the lounge. So make sure that you join us for special guest Curtis Childs on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are on YouTube and you're watching this, obviously turn on the notification bell, subscribe on YouTube so that you're getting these notifications when I go live because it's more fun to interact with me live than it is, to watch it on the replay, right? So much more fun. If you're on the IG, I post a lot of inspirational content. So Marisa Liza Pell on Instagram. And if you're new, welcome to our community. Usually you come see it once and you're a part of our community. You keep coming back. So we do have a nice loyal following and I appreciate all of you being here tonight. Let me see who's here and say hello. Tony, good to see you. Vicky, good to see you too. Igor, I know who you are. Good to see you. Maria Calvert, good to see you. Hi, Joe. Carrie, good to see you tonight. Good to see you. Awesome. Awesome, everybody. I have a lot to tell you about February. I cannot wait to get into it. So, how's everybody feeling about the energy of the month? Because I can tell you it just shifted on the 15th. I don't know if you guys have felt that shift, but it went from very slow and very heavy, very turbulent in a lot of ways to actually having a little bit of a breakthrough. Sorry, something in my eye. Having a little bit of a breakthrough. And yesterday and today, very strong astrological aspects. So, want to talk about that in just a minute. We're going to talk about the theme of the month. So, we have a theme for February, we have a theme for March, and then I'm going to go over every single day of the month until the 15th of March. So, Joe, what is this Friday's guest name again? Curtis Childs. He is a historian and he's a show host, and he has over 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he works with the Swedenborg Foundation, and he studies and gets messages out into the world about Emanuel Swedenborg, who had all these spiritual experiences and was basically escorted through heaven and the earthbound levels, shown the afterlife, and wrote about it in the 1600s. So Curtis is going to be coming on and talking about the spiritual experiences of Emanuel Swedenborg and talking about how the afterlife is organized. So I'm very, very excited. So go check him out. Awesome. And I have a quick question for you if you are on here tonight. So, of course, I always bring all my new stuff to my community first. You guys are my first subscribers, my following, everything. So you hear of everything early on. So I am thinking about doing a 12-month group mentorship program for transformation. And I wanted to see what you thought about it. So we're going to be going over 3 major transformations in this group. And the first one is to build trust and confidence in your intuition and completely release scattered thinking, overwhelm, and confusion. The second transformation, gain clarity about your career and your soul purpose and take inspired action toward building an abundant and aligned life, doing what you love and waking up every day excited and energized about what you do. And the third transformation is breaking free from your repeating cycles and patterns in relationships and design a life supported by reciprocal, nurturing, and fulfilling relationships. And that means in love as well. So, would you like help in any of these areas? Because, like I said, I'm thinking of creating this program. And if you would, and if this is something that you think is cool and you'd like help in one of these areas, let me know in the comments. Just be like, hey, that's something I would really like to do. That'd be awesome to hear from you. Okay, so let me just see who else is here. Excellent, Joe. Thank you. All right. So we're going to be going into the theme of the month, which is the month of the man-made rocket. These names just keep getting more and more and more interesting every month that I do them. But these are the things that come to me. So I figured, why not write them down, right? So what does this mean? As you guys all know, I write this all out and channel it the day of the forecast. So sometimes my writing is very hard to read. So I'm going to try. So February's monthly energy forecast, the month of the man-made rocket. Like, what does this mean, right? So it's time to soar. Okay, you're on the rocket. Just think about like a cartoon. There's the rocket. There's you on top of it. And it's all like just like put together. You know, you're just like, this is just a rocket put together. Like it's not like a well-engineered plane or anything. So you're not even prepared. You're thinking you just threw the rocket together. You're like, yeah, I'm going to like launch my, life soon, but I'm going to build the rocket, going to launch my life. It's kind of like you're waiting for things to be perfect to launch your life, right? In whatever area you want to launch it. So it could be your love life, could be career, could be relationships, could be well-being, whatever it is. And you're kind of like, I built this little rocket, I'm just going to sit on it, play around. So it's not perfect, not well built, but all the jets are a go. And all of a sudden you're playing with it and it's taken off. Okay. It just takes off, this rocket, right? So if you had it your way, everything would be perfect before you went anywhere. Like if you knew where you were going, like the rocket has to be well built and structured and have these great parts, and then I'll fly the rocket. But the February forecast is telling me you're sitting on the rocket that you just built that's kind of shabby. You're playing around with it, and then it takes off kind of before you're ready, right? That's the energy of the month. Like nothing's perfect. You're taking off and you like have no choice because you're sitting on top of the rocket, like just playing around. It just takes off. You get what I'm saying? I like to speak in analogies. That's kind of what I do. So hopefully you understand my visualizations, right? If you don't, just ask for clarification because we're live and you could do that in the chat. So everything would be perfect if you had it your way. You'd know where you were going, and then you'd map it out, and then you'd make sure all the engines were secure, and then you'd fly the rocket. But as you were just poking around, start the jets, you find out you've built is not only super powerful, but it's taking off. So you are being primed in February for imperfect action, meaning that maybe in the past you've been able to just wait and wait and wait, perfect everything, go over the details, really not take action until you know the perfect path and you know the perfect destination. And then you're like, and it's kind of like a limiting thing because you really don't take the action anyway. This is not February. It's like It's the rocket's like, hey, we don't care if you're ready. We don't care if it's like it's well built enough and it's powerful and it's taking off. Okay. So if you're feeling this, let me know. Okay. Carrie's like, less scatter, more attrition. Exactly. But the rocket's taking off. So you got to be able to just go with it. Right. So we have to understand that if you're here, the period of transformation that the world is going through and the consciousness that the world is going through right now, you have already done all of the work that you need to be doing to actually take off in an area of your life with aligned action, and eventually the rocket's just going to steer itself, right? It's kind of like going to just steer itself. So you just have to try to be present enough and trust yourself enough to know that you don't need any more education. You don't need any more training. You don't need to do any more research. You just need to get on the rocket and go, make a decision and fly. Right. So it's February is like every other time I talk to you about this stuff, about manifestation transformation. It's about getting in alignment, knowing what you're meant to do, getting clarity, taking off, right? So Carrie's like, Tony's like, yeah, 10,000% accurate, right? It's like your rockets are all going. Like we're all in outer space right now. Rockets are flying, not perfect. Your hair's not, I mean, my hair's not really done, perfectly. Carrie's rocket took off today. So we're all in space, right? So it's kind of like you might not have the perfect rocket, but it's getting you where it needs to go. So what we have to do is think about how we could just forget about that it's not perfect. And whatever area that you're moving, whatever planet you're going toward, you're just going to go with it, right? And you're going to say, okay, I'm just going to put whatever's out there, whether it's your feelings, whether it's a creative project, whether it's you weren't ready to go take a trip and you find yourself in the car going there, or it's you're actually being honest with yourself about a relationship, or you're finally just taking the courage to say what you need to say, right? That could be the rocket ship that you're on. And if you're in that position, you're probably more like, oh, I wasn't prepared to say this, but I just said it. That's the energy I'm talking about. Like, I was trying to prepare myself to do all this, and I would plan to do all this. Like, let's look at the area relationships, for example. Like, you plan to have this talk with your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and something's bothering you, right? And you've been like putting it off. Well, I'll do that next month, or when I feel like I've processed these emotions and gone to therapy and talked to all my friends and just get grounded and come across very, diplomatic. Not the energy of February 2023. It's already, the seed's been planted. You got on the rocket, you're playing around, and you just happen to push a button, takes off. So you see that person again, and all of a sudden you're done with the conversation. You'd be like, oh, I just had that conversation. Oops. Guess the energy's going there, right? So you don't have any control. All you know is what's been going on the last 2 months that you've been trying to work toward is kind of preemptively moving in that direction without you taking the wheel and carefully driving it. So it's okay if you don't get there in a straight line. Might go scattered, might go off the course a little bit. But you got to realize you're in space and you're on a rocket and it's going. So you better put your hands on the wheel and try to steer it, right? And just realize that if that's happening, that's where you kind of need to be. And the universe is like, we don't care about how long it's going to take you. You just got to go. Please let me know in the comments, since we're live, if you understand. Let me know what area of your life that's really happening for you in. Okay, so last month we did January 15th to February 15th, right? Go back to last month's forecast and just do the last couple days the last couple days, like the 13th, 14th, and 15th. So then it kind of brings you into the 15th year. This is the star key day. So usually I don't start with the 15th, I start with the 16th, but this is the star key day of the month. So remember last month's energy forecast. The energy is finally opening. Finally, the sun shines in February 15th. So today was a great opening, right? There's a lot of resistance the past 2.5 weeks, a lot of turbulence. We had a retrograde coming out of that. So many different energies. Awesome. Laney, or is it Lanny? Sorry, just tell me how to pronounce it. I hate pronouncing people's names wrong because my name always gets pronounced incorrectly. I'm glad it resonates with you, Vicky. Awesome. So yesterday the energy finally opened, and that's why the rocket took off, right? So you're on it, but realize it's amazing. It's amazing energy, and it's something you should have done a long time ago. There are absolutely no retrogrades right now. This is amazing. So things are really moving at a fast pace and moving in the right direction. So we have a couple different aspects. Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And I want to read about that to you, but it's all about the love, because we just had Valentine's Day yesterday. We just had Intuitate Live on Monday, which was amazing and incredible. Everybody had an amazing time. Thank you for all the people that came, and I think we're going to be doing it again. So if you missed it and you want to really dive deep into your love life and get smacked around by us, come back the next time we have it. I want to read this to you about this Venus conjunct Neptune aspect because it's all about love, and it's February 14th through the 16th. So that's the last 2 days. So there's no better time than now to plan a romantic date night or envision your fairy tale ending. In Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and attachments, joins hands with Neptune, illusion, dreams, and glamour in Pisces. So none of that really makes sense to me or you. That's okay. The universe is calling you to deepen your appreciation for beautiful things and people. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I'm a little more blonde today. It's like pretty dramatically different, I think, but I've always been blonde, but I kind of was a little bit darker for a while. But does anyone notice my hair's lighter? Nobody said anything. We're live. Did anybody notice? All right. If you didn't, that's okay. You might just be like, love the hair anyway. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. It says it here. Appreciation of the beautiful things and hairstyles and people. Hairstyles. Sorry. This is all so serious. I have to be a little bit weird. That's okay. I talk to myself. Really, you guys are hanging out back there. But in essence, I'm talking to myself and you. But you're not I'm not hearing you respond. Anyway. So the universe is calling you to deepen your appreciation for beautiful things and people and find meaningful ways to convey your feelings, right? Which is what I was talking about. Take every opportunity to make others feel appreciated, seen, and understood, and open your heart without fearing your vulnerability. This is what we did in Intuitate. Everybody got vulnerable. Create that safe space. Harness this energy to develop emotional and spiritual connections with others. Share your beliefs and values and learn to love without limitation. It's time to envision your perfect love story or your perfect self-care story. If you're like, hey, I just want to be alone, that's fine. And to transmute your dreams and desires into reality. So this is manifesting career, manifesting well-being. Be gentle and be imaginative, be hopeful. Beautiful energy from Jupiter Jewel. Beautiful energy. Thank you guys for the hair comments. Appreciate it. All right. So this is not only about love life, romantic love life, but it's also about the shining career opportunities. This is the opening. This is the thing that's been closing and opening the resistance you've been feeling in the last couple of weeks. Things got started. They stopped. They stopped. Now your shining career opportunities are right here. So everything that you love and that's beautiful. So the 16th and 17th, we're getting into the nitty gritty of the days here. We're going through the 16th and 17th as a pair because sometimes I see them kind of pairing off. 16th and 17th, the dawn of a new day. Excitement's rising, but now you need clear systems and a plan for your rocket ship. Okay, that's great that it went flying all over the place. But now you're like, oh my God, the energy is moving at such a fast pace. Things are happening. You need to implement systems so you're not going all over the place and then you fly to another planet. So you need some systems. You need whatever. some and some good equipment to make sure everything is stable and strong in your rocket. Kind of like when the plane lands and everyone rushes to do it up. Okay, what I mean by that is like, when the plane lands like on the runway, like after you land, and everybody kind of rushes in to do all the maintenance and everything. It's kind of like that. You guys kind of need, if you own a business, you kind of need systems in place. You need to hire more people. You need to make sure everything's structured if you're the idea person. So it's kind of like that. If you are really moving forward with your health and well-being, you might need a personal coach. You might need a physical therapist. You might need a system, right? You might need a group coaching program, which is what I'm thinking of doing. And if you think that that's something that's a good idea, let me know. So, yeah, because one reading sometimes can't change your life, right? You need some help over longer periods of time. So kind of like when the plane lands. Okay, so with all this energy, new foundations, and capable people to support you, because you need systems and support if your energy is taken off and you're going the direction you want to go in. Everything, all these foundational systems need to be put into place. So that's what I'm hearing. The 18th. Okay, this is a sad energy day. I know I connected with it and I said, oh, this is sad. It's actually really saying goodbye. So I'm going to take a moment because it is that moment. Saying goodbye to the old. And I'm not talking about, I'm going to like close the door on the situation. I'm going to just say goodbye like to a person, say goodbye to the old, but you still carry it, right? And you still have the memories and you still have the emotions connected to it. This is actually saying goodbye to the old, like for real, and walking in a new direction. Like I felt it as I was writing it. Like it has served you. You've learned your lessons. You've replayed the tape over and over again. Now it's time to move on, like for real. So this is sad because I feel like you're going to feel that on the 18th. So if you have to really release some things to have the more beautiful things come into your life, like love and happiness and joy, or maybe really committing to a relationship or a new career or yourself, you're going to need to make room. And sometimes that room comes in memories and regret and grief and holding on to somebody from the past, right? Even though we know some of these things shouldn't be held on to, they're in our body and our spirit and our auric field. So you haven't had time to really feel and heal with everything kind of on the go in recent years. But you finally realize now that the rocket's launched, you were meant for greatness, and now is your time. So if now's your time and you're moving ahead with the rocket, even ready before you're ready to perfectly start, it's like you're going from Earth to Mars. Like Earth has been your home. But if you're on a rocket to Mars, it's not like you could turn around. So you have to feel that and you have to say goodbye. So when I say goodbye to the old, it's not really tangible. It's all the stuff in your patterns and your cycles and the things you've been holding on to. Maybe even from you were 5 years old. I hear 5 years old for somebody out there. It's time to say goodbye and say hello to the new. And I know I say that a lot in my energy forecast, but like this is like deep stuff here, real deep. Because you're going to feel that on the 18th and you're going to comment and be like, now I know what you're talking about. The 19th is when you get ready to say hello because you're actually going to be landing on Mars, right? If you're just joining and don't understand the rocket ship references in Mars and planets, just watch from the beginning. It'll be all good. So get ready on the 19th to say hello. So this is my analogy for this day. So if you're thinking of, you know, watching a movie where somebody's getting married, it's kind of like the day before and the moments right before they walk down that aisle. So there's that tension, excitement, being scared, and nervousness all at the same time. That's the 19th. You're getting ready to say hello to the new, not really knowing what the new's bringing, but very exciting time. So 20 and 21, the vision is building a fire in the woods for those to gather around to tell your story. So imagine yourself, you've survived all this. You've ended up on Mars with a bunch of other people. They weren't on the rocket ship. They were kind of on the bus that like flew to Mars behind you, like comfortable and stuff. Like you like led the way to Mars, but they didn't build their own rocket ship. So they couldn't really get there by themselves. So you're on Mars and you're like, oh, I got to learn how to survive on Mars. So you're building a fire in the woods. Wait, I don't know if there's woods on Mars, but we're just going to pretend that there is. Lots of rocks, right? Building a fire on Mars where it's really hot. So I don't know where you build fire, but just try to follow. A wooded Mars with nature. You're building a fire for those to gather around to tell your story, and the ones that are kind of beaten down of being on Earth, tired, burned, bruised, drained, but they got to Mars. Okay, they were able to leave Earth and get to Mars, but they don't know how to survive on Mars, and you do because you've been there. You built the rocket. So these people are desperate for change and are ready to do the work. And you're going to show them how you did it. So you're going to inspire some other people in your life now. Like this is where you're headed. You're going to inspire those in your relationships, your careers, your creative endeavors, in your wellness pursuits to help others. This is what it's all about. You're going to show them how your story and how you transformed and how you did it, what to do to survive, and the wonder of nature and how to build a fire. So if you get this visual, it's not really a fire on Mars. It could be, but it's all about you moving through that transformation, through the shadow, through the darkness, emerging to the light, but you're alone. And now there's people coming through the bushes and stuff. They're like, how'd you do that? And you're like, here, let me build a fire and I'll tell you my story. And I'll give you all the tools so you could do it too. So you're kind of leading the way. The right ones will come. So these are the right soul groups, the right soul sisters and brothers and friends and loved ones are going to come, even though they're beaten down from whatever life brought them in recent years. And you have a purpose now, and you don't have time to devote your energy to changing or fixing the wrong people. Okay. So in the past 3 years, you might have been, transitioning and transforming in your life, and you were trying to like reach out the hand to help all the other ones come up to where you are, and they're like making excuses, or they wouldn't get help, or they kept cycling, whatever it is. And you spent all your energy trying to be like, hey, the level's up here. Like I made it to this level. Come on. Well, now the people that are being brought to you have done the work too. They just don't know how you've gotten to even the next step. So the people that you kind of left behind, which I'm talking about on the 18th, they're no longer in your energy fields. They're responsible for their own level that they're at. So it's almost like you don't really see them anymore, or even you're not even in tune with the energy because you're like now 2 levels up. Okay. It basically, if I were to take the analogies and symbolism out of it, it's like you're not attracting people to fix, to help, to like be drained by, to be brought down by, because you just can't do it anymore. And they have their own path, and you have your own path, and you have to move forward. If you haven't moved forward, that's what February is going to do. It's pushing you forward whether you like it or not. And when the energy and the frequency of your vibration goes too high, the people that are really down there that aren't really working on themselves that you're trying to help, it's kind of like they're out of your frequency window. So it's like the further you get away from a planet or a star, you can't see it anymore. You have to get a telescope, So you don't have to worry about being bombarded by that energy anymore because you're not even going to feel it and those people are just going to dissipate. But you have to realize that, like, if there's 3 levels, like the people you're trying to help are here, the people you're here, you have been here, now you're on here. You can't stay here and keep reaching down your hand to help the people that won't help themselves. Because the rocket ship took you to the next level. So, like, just don't even turn around. Like, 18th, if you want to use that date wisely, you have to say goodbye. However hard it is. You're done trying to fix people who won't help themselves. And you are ready to stop trying to be perfect and stop trying to, wait for the answer, because that's just procrastinating, sabotaging yourself. Before you take off, because you're like deserving of it. You're deserving of the happiness. 22nd and 23rd, there are applause coming your way and recognition, okay? But from far, completely, whom you least expected it. Like, may even be somebody who you didn't even think likes you, right? So you're like, what? I got an email and phone call from who? What? An opportunity from what? You're going to say that because you're like, applause. Somebody's like clapping for me that I didn't even think that makes no sense. But yes, it could be that. It could be a welcoming, an introduction to somebody, a higher up, somebody's behind closed doors or somebody very difficult to get a hold of or meet or see. But then the 24th is the day of private offers or contracts, paperwork being presented to you that is hush hush, like almost like there could be any types of this paperwork that I see. It's not just one area, but it's more of a private thing between you and another person, or you and a business, or you and another entity that is not supposed to be public or confidential. 25th, your day of rest, your day of well-deserved rest by water, spa, or shore is what I have down. A day of gleam and gratitude for a job well done. Wow. You guys earned it. You're watching this and you're relating to this. You're in the energy of the transformational bubble going to Mars. So you understand and you've worked really hard. So it's a job well done. 25th. 26th is the day of corrections. Okay. So whatever you need to edit, correct, or fix today is the day. Do the best. This is not the day to handle emotions or emotional conversations or to deal with your emotions, because they're not going to be like really accessible in a good way. Now the 27th and 28th, woo, you got to put on your armor that day, my friends. This is a tougher, harsher energy that arrives. And funny that I mentioned Mars, think Mars. But you'll have the strength, and your presence alone will shine brightly. You need to stay strong, armored during these days, but with your heart still vulnerable, your heart of gold, but under the armor. But I feel if you just stand still in your energy, you're going to be just fine. Now, I know somebody mentioned their birthday is the 1st of March. I'm going to switch over to March. All right. Let's switch over to March. Sorry, guys. February's stellar. Okay. So take it in while you can. March. Not the best energy that I'm seeing, but we can work through it. There's always a reason for it all. But I have a little mountain there for month of murky waters, because we really are climbing the mountain. And it's just kind of what we have to go through. Now, this is connected to some global strife that's coming up for me. So this is not just on an individual level, but I heard global as well. So March 1st, I know it's somebody's birthday. Usually on your birthday, better energies come to you. So I'm thinking that might be true for you. March 1st is the day of reckoning. Okay. Look up that word and see how it relates to you. But coming to terms of what hasn't worked throughout all of 2022 and signing off. I hear the word signing off. March 2nd. Okay. There's a lot of illusions in March. And at the same time, there's moments of extreme clarity and truths emerging. People who are fake and phony coming out of the woodwork being like, yes, I'm fake and phony. Like, how often does that happen? Somebody coming clean about a secret. Okay. All these things, but yet the waters are murky and you have to watch out for being fooled and being in an illusion, or people appearing as an illusion. March 2nd, appearances aren't everything. What appears to be crystal clear blue waters is actually muddy at the bottom. Beware of illusions. And I feel this is you meeting someone that appears to be very well put together, crystal clear blue eyes. I feel it's a male. And just appearing out all together, like good energy. And it's saying to me, appearances aren't everything. And that if you were to agitate that person, that whole energy would change because the mud's coming up and sifting through the water. That's a symbol, right? That's the vision that I see. So that could be kind of symbolic with a lot of different things that are going on, but beware of illusions on that day. March 3rd, now I told you about this. Fake people coming forth and admitting their truths and flaws. Finally, you're like, wow, after 10 years, after 15 years, this person's finally like coming clean. This could be on a personal level. This could be on a national level. This could be on a world level with a world leader. Okay. It's going to be really kind of like, what? Yeah. So then I hear what is decided. So what do you decide? What does the nation decide? What does the world decide? What's decided? Whew. March 4th. Yeah, no good energy. I get like this blank feeling on March 4th. And there's certain days of the month that I look into and I'm not really supposed to really look into them for some reason. But I just heard not good. And the 5th, care and consideration and caution is warranted. So these are like really powerful days, and they're really it just feels global to me, and it feels political. I don't know. I'm getting at whatever like appears in the world, well, does filter down to the individual. I mean, we have all that energy, you know what I mean? So this could be an internal struggle, but March 4th and 5th, I don't like too much. Now, this whole deal from March 6th to the 10th, I saw legal scales. So if anyone is doing contracts, negotiations, notarizing paperwork, buying a home, I mean, because we are going to the spring season, so there might be a lot of real estate sales, buying a commercial property, doing something with, I also see a lot of divorce, separation, and end of strife or end of battles with this legal stuff, closing of books, real crazy paperwork energy. March 6th through the 10th. March 6th, I see, the notarized paperwork, legal paperwork, law, paperwork, lots of paperwork. And it's saying like, if you have all this paperwork, like let's say you're buying or selling a home and your real estate agent says, you don't need a lawyer. Like nobody really gets a lawyer around here. Get one. Okay. If it's this week that you're closing on the house or you're buying a house, get one. Maybe it's going to be an extra $1,500 at the closing. Get it. Maybe you need that extra protection. You buy a car, sign the papers, get it. I just feel having the extra protection with law is a good thing moving forward if there's a lot of money involved or the transfer of funds or money. So if you do what I say, on the 7th, you'll have solid protection. On the 8th, there's going to be more grounding and balance. On the 9th, I see winning and victorious, provided you follow everything else that I'm talking about, right? Now, this is not exact 100%, 200% for everybody. It's just channeled guidance. And it's like, take what you need, take what makes sense. The 10th, you're on good footing. Okay, so this is all a good thing, but it's tough energy, very tough energy. But your lessons learned, and like I said, this is also could be around divorce, separation, end of strife, or the end of a long period of argument and the closing of books. So possibly if you're a restaurant and you're closing business or a bank, I don't know. The 11th represents to me the scales of justice again, or the pillars of justice. Stand in truth and what is right in your favor. So when I saw those pillars of 11, it would look like pillars. It reminded me of the armed forces. So I'm still getting this global thing or something going on. And I don't like to go into too much detail about this stuff live because it's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? I hear on the 12th, praise to God. So looks like something that could have happened that was really bad kind of didn't really happen. And then I see on the 13th, a peace treaty or signing or two people coming to peace. So this could be, like I said, an individual level, national level, global level. And the 14th is reordering or organization, reinstating of that organization. And the 15th, back to normal business, clean slate, clear path, moving forward. So like I said, February was very clear on the individual level, like kind of what was going on internally, transformatively, how it relates to you, your environment, the universe, and the world. And March is kind of like the opposite. It's kind of how the world energy relates to you. So I know that was a lot. I usually do this in 25 minutes. We're going on 43. So I hope this is resonating with you. I'm throwing that down on the floor because I'm done with that. I don't want to see March again. If you're still here, say hi. If you liked the live, say hi. Of course, if you're on our email list, this is going to be emailed to you shortly. And once it, oh no, we're streaming, so it's actually done. So I could just email the link out. So that's good. And yeah, so let me know. Like I said in the chat, I asked all of you if you're new, if you're listening in. Let me say, all right. Awesome. Michelle says this is profoundly validating. So happy to hear that. Vicky says yes, very much so. Lainey, hi. Great. So like I said before in the beginning, I asked a quick question of everyone. I'm thinking of creating a new 12-month year-long group coaching program, group mentorship program for transformation, and 3 major transformations: building trust and confidence in your intuition and completely releasing scattered thinking, overwhelm, and confusion, gaining clarity about your career and soul purpose, and taking inspired action toward building an abundant and aligned life, doing what you love, waking up each day excited and energized about what you do, and breaking free from your repeating cycles and patterns and designing a life you feel supported by reciprocal, nurturing, and fulfilling relationships. Yes, that means in love too. So would you out there, if you're watching, like help in these areas? And if so, let me know in the comments. Awesome. Well, this is the February 2023 monthly energy update. And I will see you all on Friday with our wonderful guest, Curtis Childs. Can't wait for this interview. It's going to be amazing about the afterlife. Please come and join. And thank you. My hair looks nice. I appreciate it. Michelle really needed this moment. Thanks. Thank you all for coming. And again, this is a 45-minute one, so a little bit longer. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on Friday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.